So there was recent backlash. There's always some backlash on the internet. But there's been kind of like a common thing, and it's not just with Nicki, but this has been a common thing with Jay-Z as well. I would put those two as maybe you could throw Drake in that conversation too. But there's just a list of obviously the top tier performers in music, and there's like the upper tier of people you want to get a feature verse from or be able to be on their song, and that's Jay-Z. I feel like I've heard the most because Jay-Z doesn't just get on anybody's songs. Mm-hmm. Like he has to really feel like he has to say something on your song for him to get on your song. Like he's not just throwing verses at anybody.
Yeah.
So he's a little bit harder to work with.
Yeah.
Or to get a verse from. Drake, people always wanted Drake first because it's literally called the stimulus package now. Yeah. But Drake is more likely and willing to do a verse for you, especially if he just likes the song. New
artist too.
Yeah, especially because then he's gonna take over the song.
Yeah. Nicki kind of too.
And that's why we're gonna talk about Nicki too, because Nicki definitely does hop on newer artist songs
if she really likes it too. She said she has to like it.
Yeah, and she has to like you as a person. Mm-hmm. But with that, and Nicki being where she's at in her career, she's now become. And I'm not talking about her age, but her age in rap is older. Like she's like a legend at this point. So people that are coming up now are now looking to her for verses, and she's the legend. Like the women rappers want a verse from Nicki, just like the men rappers want a verse from Jay-Z.
Yeah, or Drake.
So the backlash, of course, was with Erica Banks.
Yeah.
And her being upset that she wants a Nicki verse. So how do you feel about people pressing? Because I know how I feel, and I'm gonna give my opinion. But how do you feel
I feel the same way.
Yeah, how do you feel about rappers pressing other rappers for verses, especially when they're new in their careers?
I feel like it's stupid. I feel like for one, the first and foremost, when you rapping, it should be passion. It should be because you love it, not because it's for money, fame. Because that's why I don't like Cardi B, because she admitted that she did it for money. I don't like her at all. Like her passion was never really in it from jump. I feel like she just did it for money, and she said that she did whatever she can to get her bag. So I feel like first and foremost, like your passion gotta be there. You gotta just love it and be making music because you love it, and whatever comes from it comes from it. So to feel like just because you're a female rapper that you're entitled to a feature with somebody who's put the work in. Like Nicki was like the last of the before the streaming era. Like I just saw an interview today of her like promoting her Playtime Is Over mixtape, like at interviews that was happening on the street. Like she was out handing out mixtapes. Like that's like she really built herself from, like she's really self-made, like from scratch. And it's like, who are you to think that like you're entitled to that? And it's like you're not entitled to somebody's work and you're not entitled to that shout out basically. Like if you think you're great, you earn that. You earn you earn that feature. Because if you think you're great and you just do you, Nicki will notice you. Like clearly from what we see is Nicki is in the know. She watches TikTok. She be knowing what's going on TikTok. She knows like what's happening on social media. She knows. People think celebrities don't be online. They see what's going on. They hear the music. They're privy to everybody. 9 times out of 10 these female rappers, she knows a lot of them. Like all upcoming, like she knows. So it's like if she didn't reach out for a feature or you sent one and didn't get one, then you're just not it. Get there.
Yeah, it's not happening.
And don't be fake with it. Like I feel like they think like, okay, maybe if I work hard, she'll notice me. Like no, you gotta be authentic. Like you have to really like her too, and really be a true fan of her.
Yeah,
been a fan.
I think that like in addition to what you said too, I think like just work for it. Like I think you shouldn't even. You may want a verse, but I feel like even asking for a verse is like kind of like weird. Yeah. Because if they wanted to give you the verse, then they would have gave it to you.
Like asking for one seems like have more respect for yourself. Like
because like Kendrick had Good Kid, Mad City, which was like, I mean, depending on how you look at whether that was his second or first album, your own opinion. Mm-hmm. But Jay-Z got on the remix to Don't Kill My Vibe. Kendrick never asked for it. Actually, there's a video of Kendrick hearing it for the first time because his label, Jay-Z reached out to Kendrick's label and then like did the verse. Yeah. Kendrick didn't know, and there's a video of Kendrick like listening to it for the first time. Because like Jay-Z heard the album and get Good Kid, Mad City. I don't care what anybody says. Good Kid, Mad City is the best rap album of all time. I don't care what anybody says. So
same thing with Welcome to the Party. I don't think Pop Smoke asked. And remember the video of him reacting? Like, he was like hype.
Yeah, because it's Nicki Minaj.
You know your song, like what?
That you probably just made like.
And some of the labels ask though, right? You think the labels send it without consulting with the artist?
I think they could, but I think that when we're talking about these legends, I don't think that they do.
Yeah,
I just think that
Nicki heard that song was everywhere, so she was like, "Oh, let me get on this. I'm from New York, like." Let me get on this.
Yeah, I think she just happened to hear it and then she was like, nah, this is like, I gotta come out. And
yeah, and that should be the thing. Like Pop Smoke was just doing him, making his music, and look what happened. Like he was just good at it.
Yeah.
He wasn't pressed for a feature. He wasn't asking around, begging for a feature. Like you can't force your song to hit. You can't force you to hit as an artist either.
Yeah, and matter
people think that they can by just getting a feature with Nicki.
And no matter how much you tweet tweet your own album and post your own album on an Instagram story, like you can't make people like your music. And if they like it and they want to give you a verse, then they're gonna give you the verse. Like,
and Erica Banks never gonna get one. I don't want to say that because Nicki seems like she's forgiving, but
right. But that's also another thing. It's like now you're coming out and you're like expressing your frustrations to another artist, and it gives like that feeling of entitlement. And I feel like that's a turnoff, especially if you want the verse. So that's why I just don't understand. Like,
now you dug your own grave for what?
Now you're angry because you might have got the verse if you just worked hard and you had a song that just happened to hit.
And Nicki's not gonna like all songs. She said that. That's why she like people are shocked that Nicki and Doja don't have more stuff because she probably just doesn't like some of the stuff that Doja sends.
Yeah,
and they're friends. They text each other. They're cool. Like,
and another thing. It's okay to have a professional relationship. Like it's okay to like have a relationship with people in music. We're not in the industry, but I think it's okay to have a relationship with someone else in music. It would make sense for you guys to make music together, but you still don't make music because it's a thing about not forcing anything. Like you see, I have certain verified people that follow me. It just doesn't make sense for me to be like we have a podcast. Hey. Like it doesn't make sense for me to even invite people to the podcast because it's not like. It's just not the right time. Yeah. Like it's just not needed at that particular time. Like you don't need a Nicki verse right now. Like you might not need it later.
I get though that there's different ways though because we've seen the Kanye doc and everybody now has Kanye example. Kanye kind of did force himself in.
Yeah, you can.
And it worked, but you have to be good. He forced himself in, but he just happens to be a really great artist. He just knew that he was talented and he knew he had to get his stuff out there.
He forced himself in the rap aspect of it, definitely.
But you can't force the people to love you.
But he only was able to do that because he was recognized for having talented beats.
Yeah, he still had to. Yeah, that's true, and he still had to come from somewhere.
Yeah, because if he was just coming up there rapping, it wouldn't. He definitely, if he wasn't good at making beats, he would not be an artist right now.
Yeah, that's true. Because that was he needed an
entry point.
Yeah, a foundation
and I'm speaking, and because I don't want to say that Kanye isn't talented enough to be successful, but for people that don't know, at that particular time, that just wasn't rap. So like
gangsta rap was.
Even when Kanye was being successful as a rapper, it still wasn't a popular like rap. That part of rap it didn't exist yet. Like he created that like version of rap that wasn't about me shooting you and blah blah blah. Like you saw the people he was around. Like that was like hood music.
And the thing is too, the forcing it thing, you had to have undeniable talent. Like, look how his first album did. The talent was there. There's people who be forcing it and they're trash. Like Erica Banks, my fans. The only song I know is that whole Busted song. That song was trash. It was just that hook. And it went viral on TikTok. Busted. That's stupid. That song was stupid. That whole trend was kind of cringe. So cringe. She made.
Oh God! I told you to stop making disparaging remarks about people on this podcast. Oh. We're not disparaging people on the podcast. We're only delivering.
I'm sorry.
We're only delivering news.
I'm sorry.
No, you really do have to stop that.
Okay.
Cut it out.
Okay.
Relax.
Okay. It's constructive criticism.
No, that's not constructive. Saying it was trash and that she as an artist is mid is not constructive.
Okay,
criticism.
Maybe the mid part could took away. The song. Okay, you know what? The song wasn't that great.
That's not constructive. You didn't tell her
the song wasn't great.
No,
it had a catchy hook and it went viral on TikTok. That's the only reason it got out of here. If it didn't go viral on TikTok, nobody would have played that song. That's being honest.
That's not constructive. Constructive means that you're saying, okay, when she does the bridge here, what she probably should have done is double the vocals. That's constructive criticism.
honest criticism from somebody who's not in the music industry. The song the hook or the chorus, whatever it was, is popular on TikTok, and the only reason that the song did well is because of TikTok. That's actually a fact. The song only did well from TikTok, but I don't think people actually even streamed it though. Once they realized that the song was kind of like not.
That's the thing about TikTok songs is that people hear the 15 seconds.
Yeah.
And they only want to play it on TikTok.
Yeah.
They only want to play it on TikTok. Nobody's running to iTunes to go buy these songs.
Unless the song just happens to be good. But the songs that proven to be good, multiple parts of the verse ends up on TikTok. Like that song, No Idea. They pretty much did a trend to every part of that song. They use like so many different parts of that song for a trend. So clearly people just like the whole song.
The whole story about that song too is a little wild.
Really?
Because
I don't know the story.
There was originally a difference. It's funny because I sometimes I tell stories without actually knowing the story. My understanding is that song was actually called something completely different, and it was on a different beat. But there's a producer group, and why am I forgetting? Oh, Internet Money. Internet Money made that beat, which is Taz Taylor, I think, and Nick Mira, I think, is the two producers in Internet Money, but I could be wrong. I think there might be three, but nonetheless, basically, they heard the song. Some other producer in Internet Money, or just a guitarist in general, that guitar thing, that like, like they heard the acapella and they made the beat around the acapella from a completely different song. Yeah. And then that became No Idea, and that's what blew up. Like all those lyrics were from a completely different song that already came out. They took the acapella, made a whole guitar beat around it, put the drums on it, whatever, and that's how No Idea came about. And I think Wonder Girl might have been on No Idea as well. Cool. Yeah. Crazy story.
Yeah, and the song got out of here.
All the way out of here.
Like they probably still use some variations of that song on TikTok to this day.
Yeah.
But
work hard and work hard and get your verse.
Yeah, that's it. Like if anything, she dug herself a hole now. You're too entitled and you didn't even do anything. Like you didn't get put no dent or stain in this industry, and you're feeling entitled and disappointed. And
the way Nicki works is that sometimes you don't even have to do that. Like you might just got a song that went off and she might just get on your song, but she's a person, she's a human being. Like, she likes it and wants to, and feels like, because you know how, like, I don't know how it is because I'm not a rapper, but I would imagine that every song that they listen to, they don't want to then rap on or sing on the song.
You have to hear something. Like I feel like Blick Blick, like that sounds like a song that she would be on. So I know she instantly heard it, was like, yeah, this is the one. Like I'm gonna get on this. Like you have to feel it.
It has to make sense.
They're not just gonna get on any song with any beat. Like
yeah.
And who are you to feel that they're entitled to do that? Like it's just that entitlement stuff is crazy to me.
I think the only person that's ever gotten on any song and just be all over the place is probably Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne has put out probably the most volume at the highest quality of any rapper ever.
And just got on anything.
And just got on anything and everything. Yeah, whole mixtape.
To this day, he still does that. Wasn't he on Lotto's album?
Yeah, he was. He gets on everything.
It's crazy.
And does it at a high level. The whole No Ceilings mixtapes was him just rapping over other people's beats.
And that's just because you are a fan of rap.
Yeah,
you just like rap and you could get on anything.
He probably the only person.
Yeah.
But yeah, just perform well, because like that's like the whole thing, like wondering why you're not getting promoted at work or something. It's like put the work in, you're gonna get promoted at work. And sometimes you might be in a situation where you don't get promoted and you feel like you deserve it. But just in general, typically if you do what's required,
the outcome will come.
Yeah, it'll come.
Like think about all the people Nicki has worked with. She worked with like a lot of people, female rappers too. Cardi, she worked with Meg, Bia, Doja Cat, Coila right now. Like she's pretty much worked with pretty like every great up and coming rapper, if you think about it. She didn't have a song mulatto, but it might come. Her and the City Girls are cool now. Like they was interacting on Twitter the other day. And all of a sudden now JT's making songs with Chun-Li in the background. So she'll make the song. It just has to be right for her. And if you know, it's not required. It's not like you need the Nicki collab. You don't need it.
That's the other thing. It's like you don't.
Doja Cat was way out of here before they got their collab, and that wasn't really even a collab. That was like a remix.
Yeah. Just put in the work. That's it.
Yeah. So Erica Banks, stop being lazy. Well, Erica Banks, you're not getting a Nicki verse ever unless she's forgiving. Sorry, you ruined it for yourself. Dug yourself a hole. A lot of people. That's the funny thing too. A lot of people like to dig themselves holes in this lifetime. with that arrogance.
That's another thing, and then we could get off to the last topic. I think one thing that you should never do, unless it's something super crazy, I don't think that you should ever put out like disparaging remarks about your employer.
Yeah.
Or someone that you're looking for.
Someone they need something from.
Yeah, like it just doesn't make sense. Like when people are like, "Oh, F the label," blah 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 blah. It's like, okay, well, as a label, I don't want you to be saying that about me. Yeah. So now you're never gonna get a deal from us over here.
Sometimes you gotta play the game, even if you don't like them too. You gotta play the game.
Or and I'm not even saying that. Like I'm just saying in general. Like you don't need to go publicly like put out your negative thoughts about things on everything that happens. Like people typically leave their jobs for what reasons?
Pay. Mm-hmm. Like management. Maybe they don't like their boss or their coworkers.
Pretty much it. Like that, yeah. Right? Exactly. So because of that, you should not then go and tweet. Like if that's your reason for leaving, you shouldn't probably then go and like publicly bash the company for the pay or the management. Yeah. Because then the next company you're going to is going to question your loyalty.
Yeah, if you do that to us.
Like, because that actually happened in an interview one time and here's an interview tip, Alex G, the businessman. When you're interviewing and they ask you about why you're leaving your previous employer, that's a pretty common question. The best way to answer that, and what I've always seen success with, is you always have to lead with you love the company that you work for, but you feel like XYZ.
Like when I plan to leave my company, if I do leave and go to if I do leave my company and go to entertainment, which is what I want to do, I would just say that I'd be like, this was a really great company, great benefits, but the industry wasn't what I wanted to be in. That's a good answer, right? I'm just changing industries. That's not really common. But then they'd be like, oh, what if you don't like entertainment?
If you're watching this, her managers.
Hey.
Yeah. Like what I said to get to this job is like, yeah, I love my previous employer, and I saw their faces. They were like, there we go. Like they were like, cool. Like they felt better because you don't want to ever say anything disparaging.
Because they waiting for you to be like, oh, the management was terrible, and I don't know the location. Well, even if you like the location, location not really a bad thing if you're talking about your commute. But if you're like, the management was terrible, they just were so disorganized, and they're like,
they're like, whoa.
They're like, well, if we go on your bad side, this we going to start the next place.
Exactly. So they're going to look at things like that. So this is another one of those situations. Like if something negative happens, you don't always have to necessarily put it out into the universe, because now you don't know where that's going to go.
And that's the thing. Like you might feel that's unfair. Like I should freedom of speech. I should be able to say how I feel. But that's the thing. What comes with saying how you feel is you also have to realize what comes with it. What comes with it is you might mess yourself up. You might burn bridges. You might prevent opportunities. If you're okay with that, then keep speaking your mind. But if you're not okay with that, then you gotta be smart. Play the game.
Yep.
Play the game of life.